Hello and welcome to week 4 of Composition 1, Spring Late. In week 4, we are moving on and starting to connect new ideas to what it is we have been learning. So, over the last few weeks, we've been looking at how we read things and trying to understand the intention of authors by looking at what we call the rhetorical context, the idea of what is the purpose of this piece of writing? Why does it exist? We're also looking at who the readers are. Am I the intended reader? Who was this author writing for? Everything has an audience. And then there's all sorts of other things that go in with making sure we fulfill the purpose of the piece or understand the purpose of the piece, whether it's doing what it's supposed to do, or there's multiple purposes, multiple different types of audiences. We got to look at the stance and the tone. How does the author present information, and how does the author actually say what he or she is trying to do? Looking at how the article or whatever it is that we are reading is designed to help us read it. So, in continuing these things and continuing with the lessons on criticism and summary that we've been looking at, we're going to read another essay called Consider the Lobster by David Foster Wallace. This is an unusual piece because David Foster Wallace was an unusual writer. His most famous work was Infinite Jest, or it is Infinite Jest, but he's long since passed. He died of suicide several years ago, took his own life. I'm not quite sure, but he was an interesting fellow, and you're going to see that because to help us with the essay, which I posted, I'm going to disappear, I'm sorry, posted right here. And we have a discussion board. There is a little video that's about a 9-minute video called The Problem with Irony, where it talks about David Foster Wallace, and you get a sense of who he is. That might help you to watch this before you actually start reading the essay, or you can read the essay and say, oh, I need some help and read this. Then we have a discussion board I would like you to do. There are 5 things. Mainly, this essay is a review of the Maine Lobster Festival. So these first questions look at the purpose, and then maybe his alternative purpose and audience. It's for Gourmet Magazine. Think about what they are. And then I have a video lesson. This will help you out to understand this a little bit more. I wish I had you face to face and we could talk about this, but we can't. But I think this is just a wonderful essay to read because it's like many of the things we've read already. It's just a little bit different. After that, I'm going to come back on. After that, we're going to shift gears and focus on our next major writing assignment. This is going to be our longer writing assignment of the semester, which is a research narrative. This is a research paper that's designed to get you used to using the different databases and doing academic research, incorporating that information using MLA formatting and internal citations, and creating a works cited page. We're also looking at how we incorporate that information into our papers through citations, paraphrasing, quoting, and summarizing. So we've already had some practice summarizing, but now we'll look at paraphrasing and quoting those sources. These are all important things that you have to be able to do in academic writing. So I'm going to disappear again, and I'll show you some things that we have. First is information on the research narrative. This link's going to talk to you about it. It's just looking at what happened. You're telling a story that happened in the past. Do not make picking a topic too difficult. Just something that happened in history. It needs to be an interesting paper. I have some examples, and I'll provide some more information about this paper. But the main thing is just we're writing a paper that tells us something that happened. So we have a discussion board that's going to help us out a little bit to help us figure out some things that we would like to write about, and making sure that we know how to do that. Then I have a video on conducting research using databases, how to use the databases at Edison. It's going to be helpful. We have a chapter on information literacy, and then a discussion board. So that's what we're going to be doing. I will give you some feedback on topics, and we'll talk about how we do that. And then we can start researching for next week. It's going to be very quick. So that's the main thing that we're going to be doing, is putting this together in a short period of time, which might be good because most people end up writing their research papers very shortly before the deadline anyway. So, hey, this might actually be good practice. But that is where we are for this week. If you have questions, please let me know. If you have questions on your feedback, how to access feedback from the last week's assignment, again, shoot me an email and I'd be happy to get back to you. Otherwise, I'll let you do your work. Have a great week. And again, ask me if you have questions. Take care.